Luna, BC, Kevin Kellerman. And your man in charge of the action is Tony Williamson.
All right, Tony Williamson is our referee. This is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. You see Evanston there. He's wearing the black trunks.
Both fighters
Kellerman
looking very psyched up here.
Yeah, Kevin Kellerman in the blue
like
with white and red
bulls.
trim, and we are off. Bantamweight action. Two great gyms represented here.
Oh,
and
nice takedown
from Evanston.
Evanston landing in side mount now. It's still early in the round. He's gotta pace himself, you know, trying to land elbows right away. Very nice. He's got his arm trapped. Oh, a nice escape here.
And it's Kevin Kellerman back to his feet.
That's right. These guys are fighting at a very fast pace here. I like this style.
A couple of very talented amateurs here in the province of British Columbia.
That's right.
And nice throw from Evanston.
And you know what, Craig? Just from the pace that they're setting and the way that they're not hesitating to go from move to move, you can tell these guys are well-trained athletes. The fluidity of the movements, you know, like they have techniques coming to them, you know, automatically very fast. And you can tell that, I mean, to have that kind of almost just fluidity, you have to have trained and drilled a lot of repetitions, you know, for it to become a reflex, so to speak.
And we talked off the top when Evanston was walking in and getting ready. We talked about his wrestling and about how he does expect, you know, people expect him to shoot in that. But we're seeing probably some superior wrestling right now here so far.
You're right.
Through the first
Very
round.
good ground and pound here. Power shots being landed. And now we have Kellerman on the bottom, you know.
Evanston in side control right now. And I remember I asked you earlier about what is perhaps the best base to have. I mean, and we talked about some wrestling, and we're seeing here why wrestling can really.
Wrestling is a very good base,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And now it's Kellerman holding on to that
Kellerman
single.
trying to do the takedown on the wrestler. Very nice attempt here. And head control. Oh,
Gets it up.
And a guillotine attempt. Oh.
Yeah, Evanston pulls guard. Doesn't quite have the guillotine sunk in, though. And it's Kellerman back up to his feet. 45 seconds to go here.
Evanston maintaining the pressure. Kellerman having none of it. He's fighting the whole time. He's not giving up. Very nice hitting off the break.
All right,
let's see if he can fight back now. He's lost this round so far.
Well, you know what? Even though the tail of the tape said they had identical reach, it just looks like Kellerman's going to have the
You're right. He
reach.
has longer arms. I think it's safe to say, Craig.
Good shot from the inside from Kellerman. Nice uppercut lands from Evanston.
And Evanston just seems to be the more active of the two, even though it's still early
and it's
in the
Evanston
first.
landing now. Kellerman could be in a little bit of trouble right now. 10 seconds to go.
Evanston being the shorter of the two, he's landing very crisp uppercuts and hooks.
All right, round number one in the books, and that was a good round number one, Dennis.
That was a good round. I would give it to
Evanston.
To Evanston. I'm sorry, I had a little brain freeze there.
You see the corner here of Kevin Kellerman, David Lee there with them. Cleve Bentley also in the cage with them. What is David Lee telling him?
I think he's telling him to relax, and he's just weathered the storm. He took the best that Osterman was going to give, or Evanston was going to give him, you know, and he needs to fight back now.
Breathe, deep breath, deep breath. You stop there, man. You circle off. You circle off. He was giving you all the space in the world to circle off, right? He played his game at the end there.
To bring himself back mentally and put himself back on the attack. Now, if I was Evanston's coach, I would have told him to basically keep on doing the same thing.
Yeah, Evanston landing a flurry right near the end of that first round. Round number two. Once again scheduled for three-minute rounds. A couple of bantamweights doing battle here in Battlefield.
Yeah. Kellerman, oh, a nice attempt. Very gutsy move here by Evanston.
That was almost a capoeira move, wasn't it?
It was, not almost. It really was. And you know, that's how we're seeing the sport evolve now. You're seeing guys just pull off moves that 5-10 years ago you would never even dream of seeing in the cage. People would have laughed at you and told you that these moves did not belong here. But I mean, now you're seeing fighters be creative and just invent moves that they're just making work, i.e. Anthony Pettis with the cage kicks, you know.
All right, Evansson taking the back of Kellerman. He's landing some ground and pound. Kellerman trying to recover here.
And it's just sheer dominance by Evansson. Always on top, always with the pressure, with the ground and pound. It may not always be knockout punches, but it's preventing Kellerman from launching an offense of his own or formulating a game plan and launch a counterattack, which is really what he needs to do. But I mean, he just can't do it because he's always being peppered by Evansson.
All right, 1:40 left here in round number 2, and you know, we've seen guys tonight that have sort of, you know, making their battlefield or MMA debuts or a couple of fights under the belt, and then again, these guys are still amateurs here, but you can see the difference, eh?
I tell you, Craig, these guys could be pros in another organization. You know, I mean, BFL is really raising the bar here, and a beautiful takedown here by Evansson. I mean, I really like the way this kid fights.
Yeah, he really, a lot of what he does comes out of that great wrestling that he brings to the table.
You're right, you're right. The wrestling is the key. He's able to dictate whether the fight goes to the ground or stays standing up. It's a huge advantage to have, and I think that Kellerman he's kind of in trouble here, you know. He really needs to change the pace of the fight.
So far, Kellerman just hasn't had an answer to the wrestling of Oliver Evansson. Evansson's Coach Paulie from Lions MMA, he's asking for him to, do exactly that, land some punches from the top position. He's saying body, head is what he's asking for.
And Evansson on the back now. 30 seconds left.
All right, they separate.
That's right. Kellerman is still in the fight. You know, he's trying to attack. I don't think it's enough though. He can't steal this round.
Tried a Superman punch there that didn't work. And now it's Evansson trying the Superman punch, and they exchange up against the cage.
Good takedown here. Oh.
All right, round number 2 in the books. Now we're going for a third and final round.
Yeah, I think
it's too. I'm enjoying this fight.
So far, this is a great fight, Craig. It's been all Evansson, but Kellerman is still in there. I mean, like I always say, it's do or die for him now. He needs to come out and leave everything in here.
As we see the lovely Diana telling us round number 3 is coming up.
That's right. I hear Coach Paulie just giving instructions to Evansson and telling him to fight smart. He's won the first 2, and now he doesn't really need to take any chances. He still needs to finish, but not exactly cruise and relax and try to stall.
And then we see David Lee talking to Kevin Kellerman, and you got to know that he's telling him, listen, you got to find a finish here.
You're right. He needs to a knockout or a submission. He has to do it if he wants to win.
And you can see why Oliver Evansson 6-0.
I can see it, and I believe it now. You know, it's this kid has definitely a bright future in this sport.
All right, third and final round here. It is Evansson in the black, Kellerman in the blue with white and red trim. Final 3 minutes of this one. Action in the BFL amateur bantamweight division. Evansson trying the high kick that misses.
Kellerman needs to go hard here.
Kellerman trying to answer.
And he needs to stay away from anything up close, anything kind of clinch or ground oriented, in my opinion. He needs to, use his range and distance. He needs to prevent Evansson from using his wrestling and background, basically, and he has not been doing it so far.
And a left lands from Evansson, and that staggered him. Kellerman could be in trouble here.
Kellerman is dazed. And I mean, in my mind, Evansson just secured this round just from dropping him here. He's got just over 2 minutes left. He can still try and finish, but I don't know. I think that this round is done.
And that takedown just looked easy.
You're right. Inside trip, beautiful move, classic wrestling takedown by Evansson here. And I think that just goes to show, just the fatigue and as I mentioned earlier, Kellerman accepting the pace of the fight. It's almost like he knows that he lost. Unfortunately, it's hard to come back from this kind of mindset in a fight.
Okay, yeah, you see the, well, he had the crucifix position there just for a minute from the half guard, did Evansson. Kellerman escapes, but he ate a couple.
Yeah, Kellerman is in a tough spot here. He really needs to get out of here. He not only is he on the bottom, but he's stuck against the fence. He's smothered. You know, Oliver Evansson can just lean on him and really win the fight without expending too much energy. Now, Kellerman is getting up here. And wow, he's just getting put right back down. Evansson is showing excellent cage smarts here by delivering knees to the body on the ground.
And it's Evansson staying busy here with just over a minute to go, but it's Kellerman that gets back up to his feet. And they separate. Superman punch from Evansson.
That's right. He's just being all over Kellerman here. So you see Kellerman here trying to break off, create some space, but Evansson having none of it. He's staying stuck to him. Nice takedown.
Oh, big slam from
Beautiful.
Evansson.
And he's got a submission attempt here, Evansson. He's almost got him. It looks like he's trying to set up what's called a Darce choke.
Right.
He doesn't quite have it yet. It looks like the beginning of it. If he can flip him over, and it looks like he's giving it up now.
Kellerman gets to his feet.
Oh,
it's Evansson again.
very nice timing.
And he's going to bring him back down to the canvas with 10 seconds to go here.
You know,
in
Craig,
our third and final round.
for Evansson to get off such a big takedown, a slam this late in the fight, in the third round, it takes great stamina. I mean, that's a high energy move.
And the two fighters congratulate each other, but this night will belong to that man right there, Oliver Evansson.
Oliver Evansson, you said it, Craig. He showed a brilliant performance tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, very, very high-level wrestling performance from Oliver Evansson.
Nice, man.
And you see why he is the third ranked. Yeah, you see why Evansson's the third ranked amateur bantamweight in Battlefield. And you got to think he's going to be competing for a title sometime soon.
I definitely think that he could fight for a title, you know. Evansson is showing what you need to be a champion, you know, which is stamina, work ethic, a relentless attack, and the skill to go along with it. And like you said, a very strong wrestling background, which is kind of setting the tone for all of his fights. And I mean, you mentioned that he said he didn't want to just be known as a wrestler anymore, but in my opinion, he could go very far just being a wrestler or just being the way that he is right now.
Let me ask you this, just having a look at Evansson there. Is 135 the home for him?
Yeah, I think so. Very good. I think that, you know, it's, I don't know what he walks around at, but at 135, he's, you know, he's got the right height and stuff like that. I think it's a good weight for him.
All right, let's make it official. Inside the cage we go for the announcement. Here it is, Ryan Ventura.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the judges' scorecard. All three judges scored the fight 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, the fighter in the blue corner, Oliver Evansson.
All right, Oliver Evansson.
Very impressive performance here.
Yeah, that was definitely a pretty dominating wrestling performance there.
Fighting out of Universal MMA in Vancouver, BC, Kirksey holds a 6-2 record inside the BFL cage. Mixing diverse submissions and excellent striking, this BFL veteran is determined to leave Richmond with BFL gold wrapped around his waist. Standing across the cage from him is Cole Smith, holding a 3-1 record as an amateur. With impressive wins over Damon Begg and Reese Wood, Smith comes into the bout looking to utilize his improved Muay Thai techniques and walk away the bantamweight champion.